Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Bee and I am so happy to have you. Today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial and my thoughts on the DESIXKAty X Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. This is their second collaboration with Dose of Colors. The only thing I picked up from their first collaboration was the Fuego highlighter and the quad. This time around, I definitely wanted to pick up this palette because, oh my god, just look at all of this prettiness in here. I have to say that this is the second time that I'm trying to film a makeup look using this palette, and I just really didn't like the way that the video came out. It was just very rushed, listen, it was Murphy's Law in that video. Anything that could happen did happen, and it just crashed and burned, and I really just didn't like the way that it turned out. I love the makeup look that came out of it, just didn't like the way the video came out with it. But anyways, if you guys want to see how I got this makeup look and my thoughts on the Friendcation palette, then please just keep on watching. Okay, so going into the Friendcation palette, I am gonna pick up this shade right here called Necessary. It's this one right here. It is a very necessary shade to have. Okay, and I'm going to deepen the shade a little bit more, and I'm going to use the shade Churro. It's going to be this warm brown shade right here. We're just going to mix all three of the browns today. Hopefully they complement each other. So those two colors really blended nicely together. I really liked the way they blended, and it just really deepened up a lot of what I wanted it to deepen up. I'm going to go back into the first brush and just kind of blend it all together, even though I kind of did. Okay, and on a smaller tapered brush, I'm going to go into this shade right here. I believe it's called Cheens, and it's just like this warmer brown shade, and I'm going to focus that solely on the outside of my eye. And these mattes are pretty powdery. I don't see any fallout on my skin, but I have been tapping off all the excess, so that's just something to be aware of if you're looking at this palette. Now I'm seeing some fallout because I did not tap out the excess, so I am seeing some fallout now. Okay, and just really quickly for the brow bone, I'm going to go into this shade right here. It's called Basic, just a basic skin tone like color, and I am just going to lay that right here. I know I prefer a more shimmery brow bone highlight. This is actually not even highlighting my brow bone, but let me just add that in there. You know, I think I'm going to keep it toned down, and I'm just going to stick to using Just a Kiss. And Just a Kiss is a little bit more flakier than the other metallics in this palette. I did again use this blue already, and it worked really well. It looked really pretty. I just, I didn't like the footage of that video, so I'll refilm that look for you guys, so if you guys want to see it. This color right here is definitely more flakier than these over here. I have not tried this magenta shade yet, but these are pretty glittery in its own, but this one for some reason is just a little bit more flakier, and I've noticed that it gets a little bit more messier. So for Just a Kiss, I will use some glitter glue. So I'm going to use my NYX glitter glue, and I'm just going to tap it on the area where I want it, which is going to be pretty much where the bare skin is right here. And I am going to pick up Just a Kiss on a flat shader brush. And I have used Just a Kiss wet, and it's very metallic when it's wet, so you can do that as well. I think I'm just going to use it dry today on top of my glitter glue. So those are two ways that I usually use glittery metallic shades, is with a glitter glue and or wetting it, laying it down. So I am just going to add that right. I don't want to take this shade too high because, like I said, it's very flaky. It is very glittery. And I just don't want it to get everywhere. So I am literally just laying this on my lid, staying below my crease. And I am stopping right there at my outer corner. So now I'm going to go back into my blending brush. I'm going to grab Necessary and I'm just going to blend out the top. Just going to get it blended together. And then I'm going to go back into that small tapered brush and I'm going to pick up Cheens. And I'm just going to tap it right here on the outer edge. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera, finish the other eye, put on some mascara and a little bit of liner, and we will continue with the rest of the makeup. Okay, so I already have my foundation on. I'm doing a foundation review, so if you guys want to see what foundation I have on my face, that'll probably be in the next video to follow. I'm going to use a little bit of concealer. I'm trying out the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I used this yesterday. I don't really have like an opinion on it yet because I just don't know. I blended it out with this Elsie sponge yesterday, but I don't know that I particularly liked it, so I'm going to try a brush today. I think using my sponge yesterday kind of just took away all of the coverage that it would have had. I really don't think this has a super high coverage, but definitely using a sponge would have taken that away. So I'm just going to use, this is a Morphe E8. I thought it was going to be more emollient just from all the reviews that I've seen, but it's really not. It's just a little bit thicker in consistency. And it doesn't grab or cling, so that's good. I'm going all out for this lunch, y'all. My parents are like, where the hell are you going? And I'm like, man, I'm coming to your house. Okay, so the concealer blended really nicely on top of the foundation. I feel like my eyes are now elongated and nice and bright and sharp. I think the concealer is fine. So I have a new powder I want to try. It's the Hourglass powder. So yeah, I don't know how people get this out. Like, do you just... I'm just going to pat it right here under my eyes. And I am actually going to use this powder to set my whole face with. Shockingly, when you're going like this, the powder kicks up. Okay. Way to go, Hourglass. Okay, and then I'm going to use a big powder brush to set my whole face. Okay, so my whole face is set now. That foundation still kind of feels a little sticky. Okay, for bronzer, we are going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in the shade Tawny. This is what it looks like. And I'm just going to use this Morphe brush, and hopefully this is a good shade for me. I'm going to switch brushes because I'm afraid might be like cross-contamination, you know, so... Wow, that's really nice bronzer. It's a really warm bronzer. I wish it was more bronzy and not red. But it's okay. Okay, so for blush, I don't have any new blushes. I really have been loving this LA Girl Just Blushing and Just Playful. So I'm just going to add it right there. I've just really been focusing this on the cheeks. Just the apples. And for highlighter, I am using the Fuego highlighter from round 1. This, I don't know if they've changed the packaging for round 2 to match the more rosy tone, but this is from round 1. I'm sure it's the same highlighter formula. I really like Fuego. It makes me look like I'm just glistening in highlighter, so I really like this a lot. I am a big highlighter lover, so the more highlighter the better. Okay, so I just want to wrap up the lower lash line. I don't want to go too heavy, too smoky, so I'm just going to use the shade Necessary, and I am just going to run that right up the lower lash line so that it looks semi-balanced. All right, and for lips, I am going to use the cream lip stain in the shade 66. I don't know what it's called. I think it has a name, but I don't know what it's called. These are very liquidy, so I do have to kind of scrape off the excess so I don't have too much product on here. And since it's a stain, I definitely don't want too much product. This is definitely a more peachier nude than I would typically go for. I am gonna add some Fenty Gloss Bomb on the top. I swear my husband hates me. I asked him not to weed eat right here. And what does he do? Weed eat right here. Okay, and to finish off the look, I am gonna use my Morphe setting spray. Okay, and my final thoughts on this palette now that I've used it twice, using 2 different makeup looks at this point. I really do like these colors. I think it's really pretty that there's enough matte shades in here to create different kinds of colorful makeup looks, as well as keeping it pretty neutral, toned down, or going very smoky. I do wish they kind of would have arranged this a little bit differently. I wish these 2 colors, or at least these 2 colors, would have been flip-flopped. Same with these 2, maybe putting all of the mattes on one side and all of the shimmers on the other side, because there is, it is a pretty, I'm not going to say a lot of fallout, but they're pretty powdery in the sense that when you dip in there, it is going to kick up a little bit in the pan. That's not really something that I care about, or fallout on my face as well, just because I always do my eyes first before I do my base makeup. But if you're one of the people that do your base first and then your eyeshadow last, then that is something to note, that there is kick up when it comes to these powders. And then also, like, I've just noticed that the shade Cheens really gets into the shade Basic, and the gold shade really kind of is so flaky that it kind of gets everywhere. So that's just something to be mindful of. I don't know if you're one of those people that like to keep your palettes really clean. I do like to keep my palettes clean, so that's just a little gripe that I have with this palette, that I mean, I can see some gold glitter in the shade Cheens right now, and a little bit in this red shade, which is called Girl Bye. I mean, it's just a matter of how you use your palette and how clean you like to keep it, but that's just a con that I have of mine. What really sold me on this palette was when Samantha Ravindal did her review. She said that the glitter shades, she said that the metallic shades really blended well into each other. So as in, you could mix up these shades and they would blend really nicely to create a different shade. And that's really what sold me on this palette, because I was on the fence. I did not pick anything else up from the round 2. I just picked up this eyeshadow palette, and I already had the Fuego highlighter, so I really wasn't looking into getting anything else. I'm barely getting back into glosses, and I'm trying to stay away from buying excess amount of lipsticks, so that's why I only got the palette. So if you guys enjoyed this makeup look and this review on the Friendcation palettes, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know what kind of makeup looks you want me to try out with this palette. If you guys picked it up, also let me know what are your pros, what are your cons, what do you like and don't like about it. I just want to know. So let's start a conversation in the comment section and just let me know your overall thoughts. I really like this palette. I am going to get a lot of use out of it. I did go a little bit heavy-handed for lunch today, but that's okay. That's actually all I got for you guys today. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified when all my videos are uploaded, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.